and gentlemen. Welcome to another great and dynamic episode of the Stoop, where we talk hoops, hoops, and more hoops. I'm your guy, TJ, and I'm elated for another great episode that we got going on. But first, I got to introduce my man with the plan, my player partner, my co-host, Kev P. Say what's up to the people, bro.
I'm just happy to be here as always, sir. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Hey, Kev, you know, when you're from this area and this part of the country, you got to be called a gambler. And this guy right here gambled on himself, and he definitely won. He took the long approach because that's what most gamblers do. But first of all, he's a four-time outstanding player at the University of Tennessee and all SEC selection. Then he started his overseas career before he jumped into the league. This guy is a 13-year vet, and he knows how to play ball. Ladies and gentlemen, our illustrious guest on the Stoop today is Mr. C.J. Watson. Mr. C.J. Watson, thank you for coming to the Stoop, sir.
Having me, appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. The first question that we have is, man, who put the ball in your hand? Who exposed you to basketball first, or what did actually?
It was probably my parents, my mom and dad. They both played sports. I think our family was we all played sports. My aunts and uncles played sports, ran track, played volleyball, softball, all that kind of stuff. So just growing up in the front yard playing with my brother, playing with my dad, going to the gyms with him, having him and his friends beat up on us, I think got us tougher and made us kind of realize, that basketball was a team sport and also, just something fun to do and stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. So with all that being said, and you playing a myriad of sports, when you got to fall in love with basketball, around what age did you realize you could do something with it long term?
I honestly didn't think about the NBA until maybe my first or second year in college.
Wow.
I really just played basketball, like I said, just to have fun and to stay out of trouble. And I really didn't know how much NBA players made until I got to college, and I realized, guys were making $800,000. I was like, to me, that was a nice living. So I was like, I can maybe turn this into something. So, and throughout my life, my aunts and uncles always told me, they don't work a 9 to 5, just go out there, and try and take basketball serious and try to make something out of yourself. So that's what I try to do.
Wonderful. Go ahead, Kev.
Your path to the NBA was a little bit of a challenging one. Was there ever a time that you doubted would happen, and how did you find the fortitude to continue?
For sure, there's many times I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up, but my parents wouldn't let me. Just the faith in God and them pushing me, and then having a strong support system, family and friends who knew the struggles that I went through, and then them just always pressing on me and telling me not to give up, and you can make something of yourself, and that's really kind of how I approached it. Just like I said, having that support system behind you means a lot.
Wonderful. Now, CJ, you in terms of your length of school and being a part of the Tennessee program is something that doesn't exist anymore. You took time and was there to build and establish yourself and get your skill set together for 4 years. In today's 2021 NBA, what would you tell guys and how would you advocate for them to stay in school and stay in college as long as possible to get themselves together and get right?
I think it's just a personal preference. Every situation is different. Actually, for me, I was going to leave school early my junior year and enter the draft, but then because my coach got fired and I thought I was NBA ready, which obviously I wasn't. But every situation is different. I think you got to have a backup plan. You got to have something to fall back on, like a degree or a business plan or something like that. So I would say, go get your degree and figure that out. But like I said, every situation is different. Some situations might need money for parents or whatever the case may be. So I think you just got to put it to your personal preference and how that adjusts to your situation and make the best decision.
Absolutely. Now, you're a native of Nevada, and more recently in the last 10 years, especially on ESPN and being really, really featured, and we're having some dynamic facilities. Bishop Gorman is one of the most elusive, top illustrious programs in the nation by far. Talk about your pathways and growing up in Nevada, because a lot of our pro athletes, whether it's boxing, sports, baseball, whatever it is, they like to go out there, enjoy the weather, and train. Talk about also some of the benefits that you utilize and also some of the pitfalls that may exist when being out there from where you're from.
Just growing up here in Vegas, Gorman was probably the best school academically. It wasn't really like a powerhouse like it is now for basketball or football. So my parents really sent me there to get a better education because that was the best one at the time, and kind of still is now. And we got my parents fortunately got a scholarship to go there, or we couldn't afford it. So I'm definitely grateful for that. But I think just the atmosphere that you were talking about, people coming here in the summertime, The weather's nice. Everyone comes here. It's an entertainment city. There's so many things to do, when you're done training, going to the movies, shows, casinos, all that stuff for athletes. But I think it's a great thing just to get away from the season and kind of get your mind off the season and refresh and revamp and work hard at the same time. But it can
Yeah.
also get you in trouble too. So
That's
I mean,
about to ask you. Is it too much of a distraction?
it's a gift and a curse. You got to know how to uh, kind of stay away from those distractions.
Gotcha.
Now, your hometown of Vegas has seen recent renaissance. Unfortunately, COVID has hit the city pretty hard, like it has most other places. Tell us how the Quiet Storm Foundation is persevering and adapting to still help help people out.
Mostly we help the youth. I think recently, right when COVID started, we gave away 300 meals. We worked with a lady called Chef Stacy. And she cooked some mean vegan food, soul food kinda, and we gave away 300 meals at the start of COVID. So really, we're just kind of just help people where we can. We help the youth, and every second, fourth Saturday, we try to get them out of the house. Get them to the park. We do certain activities with them, stem cell activities with them, and kind of just kind of boost their morale, especially with kids these days. The whole mental thing is a big thing with kids, not being in school, not being around their friends. So we're just trying to keep them active.
Cool. I'd like to talk about pro ball for one moment, really quick. You've had the honor of backing up some prolific point guards in your time.
Yeah.
Baron Davis and Steph Curry, both for the Warriors. You had D Rose in Chicago and Darren Williams in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Whose natural ability and whose work ethic impressed you the most?
I would say all of them. Honestly, I only played with Baron for 1 year. Only played with Steph for 1 year and D Will for 1 year. So for the 2 years, I would say that I spent more time with D Rose. I would say his, because his athletic ability was kind of off the charts. He was a
Yeah.
freak athlete. And then just the time that he put in the gym, he was always the first, at practice. He would be one of the last people to leave. Always putting in work, developing his jump shot. So I think I would just say him because I spent more time with him. But all those guys, put in work every day, or they wouldn't be the players that they are now, or they were.
Cool. Now we talk about putting in work, of course, but there's also got to be a little bit of time for fun and things like that. Who's your funniest teammate ever and why?
Funniest teammate. I would have to say, I mean, there's so many of them because I've moved teams around a little bit. I would say Keith Bogans is pretty funny. I played with him in two places, and for the Bulls and for the Nets. So our relationship is a good one. I would say Joakim Noah is up there. He's always a guy who's kind of just brings the energy in the room all the time in games. When it's down mood, when we're supposed to be serious, he'll crack a joke. So I would say one of those two guys.
Anything in particular that you could care to share, or you want to hold on to that?
I'll hold him off for now. A lot of them.
All right, go ahead, T.
Definitely. So CJ, let's talk NBA. Let's talk culture. Let's talk front offices. Let's talk organization, because you in your career have been a part of two organizations that have histories of championships. The Golden State Warriors, now more so what they've done in more recent history, and then formidable in the '90s. You talk about the Chicago Bulls. For you, how does front offices develop culture of a team, from everything from the front office to the locker room? And then also the second part of this question is, more recently we've seen players and athletes kind of take control of their destiny if they're not happy about the decisions that are being made for our front offices, choosing to stay and choosing to go. Give me your opinion about that as well.
I'll answer your second one first. I think it's definitely a players' league now. I think the players have more control. Whether that's a good thing or not, I mean, I guess with the situation, most recent situation with James Harden, demanding his way out of Houston. But I think, like I said, it's a players' league now, and I think it's a good thing because the players kind of, dictate what's going on the court, and I think the front office more so off the court. But to answer your first part of the question, I think the front office, what goes on in the front office is a big dictation on what goes on the court. You can tell by certain teams when you watch them play, what kind of confusion is going on in the front office. Players not knowing if they're going to get traded or not, who's going to get moved, who's going to get more playing time, who's up for a contract negotiation, all that kind of stuff. So I think all those things kind of correlate. And once the front office and the players are on the same page, that's when you see, teams winning franchises or winning championships, and franchises doing well every year.
Absolutely. So let me also add to that as well. because you've seen Boogie as well as John Wall come out after the fact and talk about the distraction. So with a
Mhm.
move like Harden made, how does that feel with the rest of the guys in the culture in the locker room, whether you leaving and you going, because you are part of an NBA fraternity and guys gonna still see you
Yeah.
and you're still gonna face these guys.
Yeah, I think I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, those are star franchise players, and at the end of the day, they may or may not be friends, but at the end of the day, you got to get that distraction out of the locker room for the betterment of your team. And I think those two guys in particular, they stood up to a James Harden. Not a lot of guys would stand up to a James Harden, or their resume wouldn't kind of compare to his, which theirs does. And I think that's the only way that those guys can step up, and say, as a player and as a man, that we're not going to take this distraction, we're not going to take you talking bad about us, but it's either you play hard and play with us or you just leave. So I think he chose the other route, which he wanted to do anyway, probably.
Got it. Got it. Go ahead, Kev.
You have children's books, great series, by the way.
Thank you.
Great plot lines based upon your experiences. You have CJ's Big Dreams, CJ's Big Project, and CJ's Big Moment.
Mhm.
Are there other installments in the making, and what are the odds that we see any of these in an animated series?
Yes, I have one more book coming out. Working on it right now. The title will be CJ's Big Trip, I think, or CJ's Big Adventure. I'm not sure yet. But
Yeah, I like that
we're
one.
we're trying to figure it out right now. But definitely, that's the ultimate goal. Is to sign with the literary agent, turn that book into a movie or a cartoon. I think it's kind of needed for our era, and especially during these times right now, we
Absolutely.
don't really see a lot of Black cartoons or people who come from our lower income neighborhoods to kind of tell our stories. I think it's definitely needed, and I think my story kind of tells a depiction of lower income neighborhoods and how we handle those situations, and also just the glorification of that, not making it always out to be a bad situation. We find glory and hustle in our environment.
Absolutely. Thank you
Truth.
for that. Thank you.
I'm glad that you went there because that's something I also wanted to touch on. Representation matters. The content is vital, but seeing characters that look like you is just as important.
Yeah.
As a father with young ladies in the household, are there any plans on a series with a female as the lead character?
Honestly haven't thought about that. It's probably a good idea because I have all daughters also, so it's kind of probably made me try to think of an idea to do something that I didn't think about doing. But I do want to represent young men because I'm a young man, but also want to give representation to young women because they need it probably more so than anyone else. They are constantly beriddled and talked down to. So I think it's always good to keep their confidence up, keep their character up, and build them up.
Absolutely.
You might want to tap into your young lady. You have a 14-year-old at home, 13-year-old.
13, 4, and 5 months.
Okay. Maybe speak to your eldest. Ayana's her name. Am I
Ayana.
correct?
Ayana.
Yeah, Ayana.
Mhm.
She might have some jewels to give you. But in
Yeah.
any event, I wanted to ask you this real quick. When's the last time you and Kashif played one-on-one, and who won?
Last time, I honestly don't even know. If we did play, I'm sure I won. But I mean, if you asked him, he probably would say he won. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably never gonna be a for sure answer. But we'll probably never play.
Got it. Got it.
So CJ,
Ante.
listen, the last 24 months have been some of the most craziest our country has ever seen. It's been really volatile. A lot of things have gone on around race, around social injustices, and we've seen things transpire. It seems like almost daily on the news and what's
Yeah.
been going on visually on the TV. Talk about you as a part of the NBA fraternity, the NBA brotherhood, and what they've done and what they've managed to do to create that platform for not only just the key icons in the sport, but also just anybody who played. Because as a fellow athlete, Colin Kaepernick took a stand that wasn't well received back in 2016. But then we fast forward to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, and now everybody's up in arms and we pretty much marching in every city. And then we had the developments that happened last week. So
Right.
did the NBA get it right? Was the bubble a distraction? Some people liked it, some people didn't. They thought the message got convoluted and lost. And
Right.
where do professional sports teams and leagues and franchises like the NBA, the NFL, and the WNBA go next? I know that was a lot, so take your time
Right.
with it.
I think it's a great idea. For me personally, I thought the bubble was not a stupid idea, but I didn't think it was going to work, honestly. But I think now looking back at it, I think it's a good idea because we all have a voice, whether you're LeBron or you're the 15 men on the bench. We all have opinion and we all need to be heard, and we all have different experiences. And I think the way the NBA handled it, I think was a great idea because they, you know, let their players speak freely, and I think that's what's needed. Everyone wants to hear athletes speak their mind, not just about basketball, just about things that they experience through life, different racism, and I think that's definitely needed. And I think the WNBA probably did a better job than the NBA because those women, did it, 100 times better. I feel like, and they, did it proudly, and that everyone stood up with it.
So let me say this: when George Hill and Giannis stood up and said, we're not taking this for what went on in Milwaukee, and they shut down for a night. Mm-hmm. Thoughts about that? Is that something that was pretty well received, or you thought that was a good idea as well?
I thought it was a good idea. I thought, if we're going to do it for one day, I'm just speaking, so I say we as an NBA fraternity or whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But, I think we should do it for more than one day. You got to really set the bar high and make people understand that we're not going to take the constant injustices that are going on. And I think it's way better and for us to stand down just for one day than because the next day I think they played, which I think kind of was might as well just play the first day. So. But I just definitely think it's great that guys are speaking up, and we're kind of shifting the bar of trying to end this racism throughout the world.
Got it. I got two more quick questions and we'll let you go. Like I said, CJ, we know you're quite busy.
No problem.
First one is, everybody was chilling in the pandemic, was at home. What was your thoughts of The Last Dance?
I love The Last Dance. I thought it was great. It made you see a different view of Jordan. I was a Jordan fan growing up. So I think it was great. I mean, there's nothing more that you can really want to watch or do besides watching Jordan. I think even the New York Knicks fans probably hated Jordan, but they still loved him at the same time because, how hard he works, the man, they admired him, his style, his clothes, like everything. It was just beautiful.
Wonderful. Next question. If I'm allow you to be the coach and you as a guard, and this is always a funny and great question to ask. If I gave you a 10-man roster of guards all-time NBA, who would it be?
Just guards?
Just guards. Top 10 guards all time. Now, you being the coach of the roster, so don't put yourself in there. Top 10 guards.
Put myself in there anyway. I would say Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Baron Davis, Steph Curry, Rod Strickland, Kyrie Irving. Is Magic Johnson a guard?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Magic Johnson.
That's 7. You got 3 more left.
I like De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
Damon Lillard.
Dang.
Then I'll go with Kevin Johnson.
KJ. Good.
Wow.
The man. That's
I like the list, but for somebody who said they were a Jordan fan, Jordan nor Kobe made that list? That's pretty amazing.
But a guard. Oh, so you said guard? I thought we were just doing point guards.
No. Oh well, hey, okay. It works. No, that works.
It works though. It's still a solid list.
We're gonna be fast. We're gonna be small. We're gonna be fast. You can shoot.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. One more quick question for you for this season, man. Who you got in the finals and who's gonna be taking the whole thing home this year?
I like the Lakers to win it again. I don't think there's a competition for them to get back. I like the Nets, but I think the Bucks might make it to the finals this year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They'll still lose, but they'll make it though.
Okay. MVP.
I would say LeBron this year. They sniped him the last year.
There's been a debate on the Stoop, man.
Well, it's close, but Giannis is putting up numbers, but I don't know. It's hard to get.
I'm not gonna say that Bron is not MVP worthy. Of course, every year he's in the running. Let's just put that out there. But I think last season, and TJ have had this conversation many times.
Absolutely.
Last season, Giannis just got off to such a hot start, and he was the front runner all up until that last 2 weeks, right before they shut it down for COVID, and Bron knocked off the Bucks and the Clippers back to back. Then all of a sudden, he was the MVP. All the rest of the season didn't matter.
That's how it happens.
That just sounded crazy. That just sounded crazy to me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We'll let that roll on, and I could see him winning MVP this year as well.
Yeah, Giannis is doing his thing.
Absolutely. CJ, I got 2 more, and then that's it. First one is going to be, give me 2 young fellas right now that is must-see TV, 2 young fellas that have caught your eye, that really go hard night in and night out.
I would say Devin Booker
Well,
is one of them. Other one, I would say, I would say Jokic. I don't know if he's considered young, but I guess he is. Yeah, he's only like
Yeah,
20.
he's yeah.
Yeah, I would say those two players are must see TV for me. Just the way they play the game, and pass and score. But I think they're both up and coming players and definitely all-star material.
you like what CP3's done on that side? Make them
I do, I
improve?
do, I do. I think he brings a lot of leadership. You know, his resume speaks for itself, but you know,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
he gets to do it in the playoffs. So, but he's definitely probably the top 2 point guard ever.
Last one before we let you go, and we definitely want to thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule, man, to be a part of us this evening, this afternoon. The late great Kobe Bryant, man, you had an opportunity to play against him several times in your career. We don't want to dwell on the sadness of it all, but share a great moment with Kobe that you had.
I think just really just being on the court with him, especially for me as a kid, you know, being from Vegas, not knowing if I would ever play in the NBA, and then him being my top 2 player ever. And then going like to ABCD camp and Kobe coming to speak to us and give us little knowledge and gems and stuff like that. Then transfer, you know, 5 or 6 years later to where I'm playing on the same court with him, guarding him, fouling him, doing whatever I can for him not to score a bucket on me. And then, you know, post retirement, him being an author and then me being an author also, just trying to get to the point that platform that he was as an author, you know, and trying to make my books, you know, something that inspire kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we go, please let our viewers and everybody who tunes into the Stoop where they can get some of your books for their children.
You can go to www.cjpens.com, or you can go to Amazon under the title CJ's Big Dream, CJ's Big Project, and CJ's Big Moment.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, to Mr. CJ Watson, we really want to thank you for being a part of Stoop on behalf of Kevin and I. And whatever you got going on next, man, whether it's the animated series coming up, some more books, we wish you all the best and really thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for my guy, Kev P, I'm TJ. It's been another great episode of The Stoop. We'll catch you next time. Be good.